Okay, with question 15, simplify the following third expression. First thing that we notice is that we've got a set of brackets with a number outside the brackets. Now, hopefully we remember if we just had 3 times by, say, 2x minus 5, we use the distributive law and we multiply here. So that number being outside of the brackets means we multiply. 3 times by 2x would be 6x, and 3 times by negative 5 would be negative 15. Now the same thing applies here when we've got surds. So what it means is that we would go square root of 8 times by the square root of 10, and then we're going to have negative 2 multiplied by the square root of 8 multiplied by the square root of 2. So I'll get rid of that now. Don't need that, it's just an example. Now when we go to simplify this, when we're multiplying with surds, we can actually put those numbers both under the same surd sign, which means we have the square root of 80 for the first term, and then for the second term we've got negative. Now I'm going to keep that 2 out the front, but those numbers can come under the same root sign as well. So we've got 2 multiplied by the square root of 16. Now the square root of 16 we can actually do. The square root of 16 is 4, meaning that that section there will become 4 on the next line. The square root of 80 we can't do, but we can simplify the square root of 80. I'll show you over to the side here. Remember, when we are trying to simplify surds, we are looking for a square number factor. So a square number that goes into 80. Now remember, our square numbers are 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, so on and so forth. Okay, so we're looking for one of these numbers which is a factor of 80. Now, a lot of people would go straight away that 4 is a factor of 80, and you're quite right, 4 is a factor of 80, which we could use. In fact, I might even use that just to show you first up. 4 times by what will give 80? Well, 4 times by 20 gives 80, okay? Which means that we would have the square root of 4 multiplied by the square root of 20. Now the square root of 4 you can do, which is 2, but the square root of 20 we can't do, so we would leave that as square root of 20. Now that surd you can also simplify because it also has a square number factor. The square number factor is 4. Meaning you can go 2 times by square root of 4, 4 times by what, 5, will give 20. And we can do the same thing again, 2 times by square root of 4 times by the square root of 5. Meaning we can also do the square root of 4, 2 times 2 times by the square root of 5. 2 times 2 is 4, meaning that that one simplifies to 4 root 5. So we would have 4 root 5 in here. Now the easier way of doing that though is to go right back up the start here and say, well, 4 wasn't the highest square number factor. The highest square number factor in fact was 16. 16 multiplied by 5 also gives 80, and 16 is a square number. So what that means is you can split it off. Not as much. We're going to go square root of 16 multiplied by the square root of 5. Square root of 16 is 4. Square root of 5 we can't do, so we leave that as square root of 5. Well, the square root of 5, sorry, is an irrational number. You can't get a whole number for that. So either way, the square root of 80 becomes 4 root 5. Now we need to finish this off. That's just given us that part. Now we've got to go minus 2 lots of whatever the square root of 16 is, and that gives 4 whole. Now we're not quite done there yet. We go 4 root 5 minus 2 times 4 is 8. Now at that stage we would give you the full marks, which were actually 2 marks of the test. We actually made a little bit of a mistake there. It's a 2-mark question instead of a 3-mark question. We got the 16 and 15 around the wrong way. That would give you 4 marks. The other thing that you could do, and often in the back of the book, extra marks, but you won't get extra marks for it, is to then factorise that. So a lot of textbooks will take out 4 as a common factor, and then say, well, 4 times by root 5 will give 4 root 5, and then 4 multiplied by negative 2 will give negative 8. So that's just an alternate way that a textbook may show that answer to be, but for this test we did not expect you to factorise.